Hello everyone, this is Eva and you're watching Israel Startup channel ISUP. So today, Lingualy is up. And here we're with Orly Fuhrman, who's the co-founder and head of product of Lingualy. So we're going to have a nice conversation about Lingualy today. So it's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Could you explain us about Lingualy? Its tagline is bringing language to life. So how does it bring language to life?
So the idea of Lingualy was born because I and my co-founder and a lot of the people we talked to about learning a language today were frustrated about the way people learn a language. And there are many solutions out there, websites and courses and textbooks, but they all use the same principle, and it's a very old school one of generating content. So you have someone who's writing a lesson, and then they serve it to a large group of people, the students, so it's not personalized and it's not real, and it often becomes very boring very fast after you learn the first stages of a language. And the idea behind Lingualy was to bring language learning to life, because we looked at the internet, which is something that changed everything we do today, the way we shop, the way we consume information, the way we read, and also learn a lot of things. But it hasn't really touched language learning, and it's a great opportunity because you have content in every language you can think about, or a lot of languages for every level, and about so many different topics. But it's not used this way until we developed Lingualy. So that's why we use the tagline "Bringing Language to Life." We turn it from something artificial and impersonal to something lively that's all about you. We take you and your preferences, your level, your vocabulary at the moment, and we try to find real content that will help you learn.
So I noticed that Lingualy really combines the user's preferences and interests into their learning. And how does it really work?
So when you browse the web using Lingualy, you can go to any website you want, including any web page you want, actually, including your email and your Facebook and your Twitter and your Pinterest, and any online blog or newspaper. And you start by clicking on words that you want to learn. And then you get a translation, just like an online dictionary would do. But the words are also saved to your personal profile. And that's how we start learning about you as you learn a language. So we know about the words that you don't know right now, and we help you practice them. Lingualy generates a flashcard for every word that you looked up. And we also remind you to practice the words that you looked up in very specific times, so our system knows when you need to review every word the most and reminds you to do that. And we also create reading suggestions. So that's a big part of Lingualy's innovation. Because we know you, will learn about you as you browse the web and click on words. We keep updating your personal profile to know what vocabulary you know and what vocabulary you don't know. We keep changing that assessment and give you suggestions for articles that will be just right for you. So if you browse the web alone, that's one way to use Lingualy, but it can be a little hard for beginners or even intermediate learners. But after only a couple of sessions, we know enough about you to make smart suggestions for articles that will not be too overwhelming. So articles that will have a lot of words that you already know, 80% ideally of vocabulary that you're already familiar with. So it will be nice to not have to look up every word. And it will also help you review the words that you're trying to learn now. So if you looked up the word success yesterday, we know you're trying to learn it now. We'll try to look for articles that are both comfortable for you to read, and will also help you review the word success articles that have the word success in them.
How is the market going? How are the customers responding?
So we just launched 2 weeks ago exactly today. And we had very positive responses. We had 10,000 new users just after the launch, which is, I think, good. And there are real users, not visits to the website. These are people that added the extension to their browser. And we're getting a lot of positive responses from students and language learners, and also from teachers. There are a lot of teachers that really love Lingualy because it solves a very big pain of teachers, and that's how to help their students develop their vocabulary and improve it. The way they do it now is by using artificial text that they either write very laboriously or find in textbooks. And I think that's really boring to students, and there's no reason to do it when you have something as fun and natural as browsing the web in the language you're learning.
So, how do you really monetize from Lingualy?
So right now we don't yet, but the plan is to keep the basic functionality free and to offer premium features that will be paid, like subscription features that will be paid. So one possibility that we're developing now is features that will help teachers make most of their Lingualy experience. For example, monitor a whole class or help students communicate with one another and share what they learn with Lingualy. And that will be a paid feature that will help us.
Okay. So from when they really launched to classes, really into institutes or schools. Oh, you were an accelerator of Venture Geeks, right? And in 2011, right? And it was what happens during that time? It's like
During
2 years.
Oh, okay. Well, we developed the product. We spent a lot of time developing the algorithm because it turned out to be not a simple problem to solve.
Right.
Unlike other solutions, every time someone uses Lingualy, you have to make a lot of computations in parallel. You have to break down any web page to its linguistic components to know what words are there and what are the stems of the words, and it's complex, and you need to reassess their level and their vocabulary and to search in parallel for articles that will match that, and that changes not only from user to user but also from moment to moment for every user.
Wow.
So to do it efficiently without you waiting for hours for your reading suggestions, for example, you have to develop a very fast algorithm. That's one thing. The second thing, we started developing the website, and we piloted it, and it got good responses, but we felt that the browser extension was a better starting point for our go-to-market because it does allow the freedom that we wanted to give our users to just go anywhere and collect words just when they're reading or their email or Facebook or short snippets of text without having a website that's nice, but you have to remember it exists and you have to make time to go there, and it becomes a learning session. With Lingualy, you don't have to remember that it exists and go there because it's always there.
Yes.
It could maybe too much, but it's always there. So learning just becomes part of your life. It kind of seamlessly integrates with your browsing behavior, so it doesn't seem like a chore or a boring, task to remember. Okay, I have to do my practice now. If you have 1 minute, you can just click on the Lingualy icon that's always on your browser and do like a practice practice session of 5 words or 15 words or 30 words, and it's really easy.
So what's the vision of Lingualy ultimately?
So our vision, we have a lot of plans for more features. So first of all, we want to be as holistic a learning experience as possible. So right now we're focused on vocabulary, on the word level, but we're developing features that will help people learn grammar, for example. So which will help earlier stage users to use Lingualy. Right now, you need to have a good basis of the language. When you start using Lingualy, it's very hard to start from scratch. But we are planning more linguistic features like grammar and expression. And we are planning to bring in more media types, so videos like YouTube clips, that today it's becoming easier and easier to get transcriptions of videos and songs. So songs are a great way to learn a language if you have the lyrics, because they're very memorable. So we want to introduce that also. And we want to develop a mobile app for sure, because if we want to really make learning part of your life, it has to be everywhere. And a lot of the time people spend 2 days on their mobiles, whether it's an iPad or smartphones. So that's definitely the direction that we're heading.
Hopefully we'll have Korean also in
Yes.
Lingualy.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, and of course expanding to more languages is a big thing. In Asian countries and in general, one of the advantages of Lingualy is that you don't have to develop content for each language that you're introducing into the system, because it's one algorithm that basically fits all. So you need a dictionary, obviously, and a stemmer, that's like the linguistic algorithm that helps turn web pages into a learning experience. But it's way easier than writing a Korean course. That other solutions have to do that.
And how is the funding right now? I noticed that you're looking for additional seed round.
We got initial funding from Israeli angels, from local angels. And now that we have launched, we're heading to another funding round, probably soon in the next few months. We'll start the round.
Yes, hopefully Lingualy will grow big enough to expand to more markets. And to finalize, would you like to give a inspiring message to entrepreneurs?
You have to enjoy the ride to be an entrepreneur, because it's a very exciting but also very risky undertaking. And statistically speaking, there's a big chance of failing. And so if you don't enjoy the ride itself and learn from it as much as you can, it is not worth it. Because people that go in and start a venture, start a startup, thinking about getting rich or being sold to Google or making a lot of money, I think it's the wrong incentive. I mean, it's a nice incentive, but they have to enjoy the ride, because the chances of doing something big exist, but they're small statistically. So you have to look at it as a learning experience, and just enjoy it.
Wow. Thank you so much. It's it was different from what I have been heard from other startups. It's you should do this, but basically we should enjoy. So thank you so much. It was great.
How do you say thank you in Korean?
감사합니다.
감사합니다.
So 감사합니다.